Pop it like I see you point.
It's a boy, it's a boy. Welcome to another episode of the Sussex Set. We have a boy. Oh my God, they're parents to a little boy. I wouldn't have cared whether it was a boy or a girl. I would have put my life on the line betting that it would have been a little girl. But they truly did not know because Harry wanted a little girl. I don't know if y'all remember from the tour, but of course, it doesn't matter when you have a healthy baby in your hands. We have a little boy. Oh my gosh. As soon as I opened my Twitter, I saw all of these Sussex trends, because that's just kind of like my habit. I go on Twitter, look at the trends. Baby Sussex, Prince Harry, Meghan, it's a boy. I'm like, oh my God, it happened. It happened overnight, which was kind of like my greatest fear. But to be honest, we had waited so long that it really didn't matter. It was just kind of like you already knew they weren't going to be like standing anywhere taking a picture. So you just knew they would tell you when they told you. And I was really pleasantly surprised to see. First, I saw Omit's tweet, but I was so surprised to see the video of Harry talking about the birth. And talking about, how happy he was and everything, pretty much not very long after she gave birth, so they did give us that. They could give us absolutely nothing, and I'm still gonna be satisfied just knowing that the baby is here. I thought that was really, really nice of them, just for him to show his face and just let us know that Meghan is doing well, that the baby is doing well, just for us to see the pride on his face. Wow, that really got my morning started right. I want to just go ahead and read the official royal communication, the royal statement about the birth of the baby. I'm just going to read it word for word in case you haven't heard, girl. Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex was safely delivered of a son at 5:26 this morning. The baby weighs 7 pounds, 3 ounces. The Duke of Sussex was present for the birth. The Queen, the Duke of Edinburgh, the Prince of Wales, the Duchess of Cornwall, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, Lady Jane Fellows, Lady Sarah McCorquodale, and Earl Spencer have been informed and are delighted with the news. The Duchess's mother, Doria Raglan, who is overjoyed by the arrival of her first grandchild, is with their Royal Highnesses at Frogmore Cottage. Her Royal Highness and the baby are both doing well. Oh my God. Shout out to Doria Raglan, man. For real. Shout out to Doria Raglan, honey. She must be beaming right now.
Any news you want to share with us, the world?
Yes, I'm very excited to announce that Meghan and myself had a baby boy early this morning, a very healthy boy. Mother and baby are doing incredibly well. It's been the most amazing experience I could ever possibly imagine. How any woman does what they do is beyond comprehension, but we're both absolutely thrilled and so grateful to all the love and support for everybody out there, from everybody out there. It's been amazing. So we just wanted to share this with everybody.
And what about names? Are you still thinking about names?
Still thinking about names, Alan. The baby's a little bit overdue, so we've had a little bit of time to think about it. But we're still. That's the next bit. But for us, I think we'll be seeing you guys in probably 2 days' time, as planned, as a family, to be able to share it with you guys, and so everyone can see the baby.
Well, you can't stop smiling. It must have been. I mean, I suppose every birth is amazing, but for your own child, it must be. Oh.
I haven't been at many births. This is definitely my first birth. But it was amazing, absolutely incredible. And as I said, I'm so incredibly proud of my wife. And as every father and parent would ever say, your baby is absolutely amazing. But this little thing is absolutely to die for. So I'm just over the moon. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
The baby was, in fact, delivered at home. Yes, thank God, praise the Lord. Whoever you worship, girl, praise him or her, child, because I had kept seeing like over the last couple of really like the second half of yesterday, I was seeing a lot of just news bits about, well, concerns are growing about Meghan's baby being overdue and saying that she might have to go to the hospital and be induced, which is sort of kind of what happens. But, really, first time mothers, typically the baby, it's not a surprise when the baby is overdue. Even just by a little, few days or maybe a week. But apparently you can go up to 42 weeks. But I just didn't, I was just really just praying that she didn't have to go to the hospital because I know that's not what she wanted. And turns out she didn't have to. So I am just pleased that she was able to deliver the baby at home. If you actually saw the video that I posted the clip from, Harry is like standing in front of some horses. So the baby was delivered at home. To me, that's confirmation enough anyway. But yeah, a lot of people were really like upset when certain reporters were saying that, Meghan was overdue. They were like, well, how do you know she's overdue? Did she tell you personally or whatever? But I don't really care about the rumors one way or the other. I just knew we were waiting a while. But the wait is over and the world is truly paying attention and just watching and just trying to take it all in. America is like celebrating. I'm sure England's celebrating, right? But like America has a reason to celebrate the birth of one of y'all's royals. Like it's really freaking amazing. Like I knew I would be happy, but I had no idea I would be this happy. And if I'm this happy, I can't imagine like how happy Harry and Meghan are. Like they must be bursting with joy right now. And actually in the video you can see Harry like he can't stop smiling and that just warms my heart. Like he can't stop smiling and he can't hide it and neither should he. You know what I mean? And he goes, I don't see how you do it, ladies. Or I don't see, he didn't put it that way, but he said, I don't see how women do it, which really, if you think about it, most men don't really witness a birth until it's their child. And I'm sure Harry's eyes were wide. I mean, it's traumatic if you're giving birth, but even like if you're just witnessing it, and especially if it's your first time, it's such an alien experience. You know what I mean? And I mean that with all respect. It's not something anybody sees every day, but it's so, boy, does it put you right in the present moment. Especially if it's your child, right? But like, man, like even man, woman, doesn't matter. Like, I think most women, once they reach a certain age, because that kind of is an experience where women have traditionally like taken the lead, which by the way, shout out to Meghan for making sure that her doctor was a woman. Because that's what bad bitches do, you feel me? But like most women have up to a certain point, once you get to, let's say like 25, you've been in a delivery room, you've seen a birth, right? Or you've had the experience yourself. But most men, when it's their first time, like it's truly just mind-numbing if it's your first time, no matter who you are. And like staring into a person's body, a woman's body, right? And seeing a human come out of that body, mind-numbing. But it's like all the births that I have been in, like my sister, and just like being as a support and watching, because that's all you can do when a person is giving birth. It's just kind of like support, right? Try not to be up in their face with bad breath or whatever. But I remember just like shaking when the baby finally came out and just like thinking, damn, this is life. You know what I mean? Not just the life of the baby, but like life itself. Like, this is it. This is it. You know what I mean? But anyway, that was a tangent. I'm sure Harry, I mean, I'm sure both he and Meghan, the woman's usually tired, but both he and Meghan had to have been just like on cloud nine, and I'm sure they still are, to have this baby right here with them. I'm so glad that they get to bond as a family without the pressure, without the rush. They have already had the pressure. That's no longer even a factor, girl. You're going to get the pictures when you get them. They're not going to stand up on no steps for you. I read somewhere that Meghan officially ended that tradition. Truthfully, I don't really see how anyone in the royal family can give birth now who, people care about a photo call for. I don't see how anybody else can. I guess that would really only be one person, and maybe, decades down the road, somebody else. But how they can now go back to doing not the Lindo wing, but standing on the steps right after you give birth. You know what I mean? With your brand new baby, just for everybody to just click at and take pictures at. I don't see how that resumes again. Because most people in England wanted her to feel that she had the right to do exactly what she wanted to do. So, but yeah, I liked that Harry in his first little interview right after the birth said that he really appreciates the job that women have to do. Witnessing someone's body go through that deserves a that deserves a kudos from somebody somewhere, and so I'm excited to see how Harry raises his son, because I know, but Meghan and Harry are going to raise that child to respect women, honey. Not just because it's the PC thing to do, but because it's going to be in his character. You hear me? You gonna respect women in this house. But no, seriously, kudos to Harry for just being a good sport and just coming out and telling us the news, just to tell us, just to hear it from him directly. I think that's really class from him. And shout out to Omid for breaking the Twitter news. I mean, I truly don't know whether he broke it or not, but for these purposes, he's gonna be the one that broke the news, because actually he's the first tweet I actually saw. But yeah, baby Sussex is here. I don't know if you caught it, but he also said that photos would come in a day or two, which is way sooner than I would have expected. I think that's great, but take your time. I don't care if it's a week or two. Take your time. I want them to be able to bond as a family without the stress of having to stand up and take photos for somebody. Even if it's their photographer, even if it's their approved, it's probably going to be Chris Getty. Not Chris Getty. Chris Jackson. His name may as well be Getty, girl. But Chris Jackson, the Getty photographer, he does such a great job. And you can see the relationship that really both Will and really the Cambridges, the Wells, for matters of keeping it simple, and the Sussexes have with Chris Jackson. So kudos to him. I don't know whether he's going to be the guy or not, but don't be surprised if he is. But that's probably going to take place on the grounds of Windsor Castle, maybe at their house, maybe on the grounds of Frogmore Cottage. And I don't know, man. I just really love that they're doing it their way in their time. They will release the photos in their way, in their time, exactly how they want. You know what I'm saying? To me, I just have so much respect for them through this whole process because they were true to their word. Even the palace was. They didn't. A lot of people were wondering whether the baby was born or not. To me, again, I wouldn't have cared. I wouldn't have cared whether she had that baby a week ago and we didn't find out until today. But they told us that they would let us know, and they did. You know what I mean? They just want privacy. That's really it. They let us know just mere hours after the birth of the baby. And they let their fans, their supporters, they call us, they let their supporters know on their Instagram in that way. You can see how the little blue card is their thing, which is so damn adorable. But they let us know. They know that their supporters are just waiting and watching and just loving would love every minute of it once it happens. And so they go to them first. Speaking of their Instagram, it's like they're probably going to have like 8 million followers or 7 million at least. Not that it matters, but like so many people now are just like, follow, follow, follow. And we kind of knew this would happen. You know, they had already had so many follows before the baby, but now it's just kind of like everybody wants to be the first to get the picture of the baby, which, you know, they're going to post on their Instagram. So, but along those same lines, you know, I like to give a giant bitch you thought to the royal reporters, girl. Y'all thought y'all was gonna know, girl. Y'all thought y'all was gonna know. How about, and that's to the majority of, maybe not all of y'all, but to the majority of y'all really did try it. Like, y'all really tried. Excuse my grammar, but y'all really, really did try it. Like, the baby was born and you did not know. Ha! You did not know. Not a peep came from their camp. And if it did, it was given to individuals who the Sussexes knew they could trust and who they knew wouldn't go run and tell the whole world before they were ready to speak about their baby. Now y'all run around here with your, you know, like chickens with your heads cut off because y'all thought y'all had all the tea. And y'all thought y'all was going to get it, and y'all thought that y'all were like entitled to it. And you weren't. You didn't know. You found out with the rest of the world, girl. Now you're around here looking like billy goats. And I, for one, love it. I love it. I'm loving every minute of this. Let me please just congratulate Harry and Meghan, though, right? Especially Meghan. Girl, you did it your way. I can't emphasize how much I love that. And how much I appreciate that. Like, how much that teaches just any woman the importance of her doing what she wants to do with her body. You know, culturally, humans have a history of allowing a man to dictate just about every aspect of what a woman does with her body. You know? No, Meghan chooses it. Meghan basically stood up to, I don't know that she had pressure from the institution itself, right? Or the royal family. It seems like they allowed her to do what she wanted to do, but it's really some of the people whose voices are amplified, journalists who tried to basically convince her through criticism that she had to do it the way that they wanted. Of course, they're only doing it for financial reasons. I mean, they're only interested in her doing it their way for financial reasons. And she stood up to that and she said, no, I'm doing it the way I want to do it. I command the world to wait. And in my time, I will present my baby to the world. And you know what y'all did? Y'all hoes waited. And y'all know who I'm talking about. They waited. We all waited. But the people who didn't want to wait, girl, you waited. And you watching like the rest of us. Boss moves. Boss moves. There's no other way to describe that. And knowing Meghan, which I don't, knowing her, though, it was probably, based on what I know about her, right? It was probably like the most beautiful, peaceful, calming experience. You know, relatively speaking, with her Zen type, you know, her and Doria actually, yoga masters, and just, wow, just trying to bring this baby into the world in the most peaceful possible way. I don't know the birth. I don't think any of us will really know the minor birth details unless Meghan eventually like shares those, which she probably will. Just speaking about women's, you know, rights, women's health, women's, you know, experience, you know, whatever. I think she'll probably speak on it eventually, like Beyonce did. Like, I would have never thought Beyonce would. She's a queen in her own right. Speak about that, but eventually she did. You know, it just took some time for her to feel comfortable doing that. But Serena too, mind you. But like sis had her own doctors, and You know, she wanted her physician to be female, which, here, sister. She wanted her baby to be born where she will raise her child, which is so beautiful. Like, to be honest, I think that's kind of how it should be. That is how it is in many, many places, probably the majority of places in the world. But I think with modern medicine and with technology and, you know, the advancements of, I don't know, how we live lives in the West, you know, there's this idea that you need hospitals, and you kind of don't. You do in an emergency, but you really don't. Like, women have been giving birth for millennia, you know. So the idea of her having this baby at home should not have caused the outrage that it did. It really shouldn't have. But, you know, a woman knows. A woman knows her body. A woman knows what she wants, and she did that, you know. But yeah, we don't need men in white coats telling us to, you know, push. You really just don't. Yeah, nature provides that blueprint. But I am so glad that all is well at home, at the Sussex home. And I am just, my heart is full for Doria. I'm glad that she's there enjoying her first grandchild with her daughter and her son-in-law. I mean, like, I'm over the moon for them. You know, I bet, like, I just imagine, like, young Doria, little girl Doria. I think she grew up in, I don't know, I can't remember, because Meghan has talked about, like, her grandfather being growing up in Cleveland or Ohio, and they all drove to LA. So maybe Doria was in LA, but as a kid. But you know, I just imagine kid Doria, like, as a child, just playing, you know. But never would she have imagined, you know, as she grew, that her grandchild, that she would be holding her first grandchild, you know, receiving her first grandchild on the grounds of Windsor Castle. Like, that's just something you don't think of. You don't imagine it. But, like, her blood is in the royal family. That's kind of incredible. Life is really a trip, though. Like, I'm not the most religious person, but, like, one thing I do love that Oprah, or maybe it was Maya Angelou, said that whoever you worship, whatever your God is, girl, God can dream a bigger dream for you than you can for yourself. And I'm not saying this is Doria's dream. I'm not even saying it's Meghan's dream, but it's something you never would have thought for a little black girl to have a grandchild who will grow up, you know, among palaces and castles and just basically have the world completely open to them. I think it's great. And if you ask me, I think Doria and Diana are the true MVPs in this. Like, for real, like, the entire Sussex family stands on their shoulders. Yeah, they stand on a bunch of other people's shoulders too. But those two women are the ones who raised their children to be the people that we see, that we love, that we admire today. And that's why we care about Harry and Meghan so much, right? Like, it's not because they're good looking, which they are. It's not because they're rich. Okay, it's not because they're popular. It's because they are good people. Harry and Meghan have every reason to kind of shy away from the obligation that they put on themselves to be good people, and they don't. They dive in head first. And you got to give a credit to their mothers for raising them to care about people, for raising them to see any position that they have, especially if it's one of privilege, as something that can be used to help somebody else. Somebody who's has a faceless presence in the world, you know, whose voice is never going to be amplified, you know, whose situation you could completely overlook. They're shining a light on it. I think that's just one of the things that makes Doria and Diana, you know, a big part of this day. And I know this child will inherit so much richness from their grandmothers. and so much culture on both sides of the pond. Like, really, wow. This baby has to be like the first of its kind in that institution, especially in the modern age, too. And speaking of inheritance, baby Sussex, can I just sing you happy birthday the way that it was always meant to be sung for you? Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Shout out to Stevie Wonder, you feel me? Because he gave us a jewel, one that we pass down to our children and they pass down to their children. And by you being an American, right? Well, then that's yours. You inherited that. Happy birthday. It's your first day on the planet, your first day of many, and you got aunties and uncles all over the place. But for real, baby Sussex, there's a couple of things I just want to make sure that you understand about the fact that, you have a whole entire, not just a nation of people, but, Black Americans. We have a special place for you at the cookout. And it's all yours, whether you come every year or not. You know what I mean? It's your place. And you are always welcome. But I just want to give you just a couple of a heads up about some things, just to kind of tell you some things that you'll never have to worry about. No shade, no tea, no shade. But first and foremost, you have your pick of all of the seasonings, any and every one that you can think of. They all belong to you. You will never run out of seasoning at any point, whether it's at a barbecue, whether it's at a dinner, whether it's at a state function. It doesn't matter, girl. All of the seasonings are yours. Never fear. The seasonings are here. Secondly, we as Black Americans, or Black folk, period. You know what I'm saying? Because you basically like one of us, you feel me? But that's, jokes, but still. You don't age. That's a blessing. From the gods. We've got that Benjamin Button disease. At some point, you're going to look in the mirror and say, am I aging backwards? Your grandmother has given you this thing called melanin. Your mother gave you this thing called melanin, and it doesn't crack. So just a heads up, don't worry about it. Just embrace it. It's yours. It's a gift. You have got, you got uncles, right? You got uncles all over the place. For real, for real. Barack Obama, George Clooney, you got your uncle that's going to be king, but ain't nothing like a TT. And you're going to learn that. TTs are, wow, like true gifts in this life. I'm a TT. I'm a TT. I'm your TT too. But, among your TT ranks surely will be Serena Williams, perhaps Beyonce, maybe girl, but Oprah, you got Miss Gayle King, you've got all of your grandmother's friends, right? You got, Abigail and Jessica and, your TTs are just going to always be there for you, honey. So always remember that. And, when you get to the cookout, and maybe, Grandma Doria going to teach you this, but when you get to the cookout, you're going to go to a lot of cookouts in your day, honey, trust. Make sure you always ask who made that potato salad. Because you ain't going to eat just anybody potato salad. Make sure you know who made it, how they made it, and whether it meets the standard. Okay? And as for me, young king, honey, I'm celebrating your arrival today. I'm celebrating your arrival today, boo. Because you here. And the one song I keep humming in my head at your arrival is just for you. And it goes like this. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as a rolling sea. And that too is your inheritance. You feel me, baby Sussex? Grandma D gonna make sure you know that. Yeah, I know most people probably heard that song when Beyonce sang it, but that's a unique song that is specific to Black American culture. And I say that because the song and the lyrics are indicative of a time where Black Americans lived under, this is post-slavery, by the way, oppression in America, right? And it's really, the lyrics only make sense for a Black person to sing, because they're specific to a specific struggle. But Baby Sussex is never going to have to struggle, but that still doesn't exclude the fact that, it's kind of like an inherited song that by adulthood, in Black America, by adulthood, the majority of us know this song. It's called the Negro National Anthem. And Ray Charles did a really, really, really funky cover of it, man. I mean, most of us really only hear that song in Black History Month, but he did a great version of that, so I'll link it. But Baby Sussex, that's yours too. You can have the collard greens, the cornbread, you know what I'm saying? The sweet potato pie. When you tired of eating figgy pudding, you come to TT's house and we gonna hook you up. Like, we really finna hook it up. All jokes aside, congratulations, Meghan and Harry. Congratulations to Diana. Your legacy lives on. No matter what, you gave birth to 2 boys. They have given you grandchildren, and I'm sure they will give you more. You are here. You are alive and well, and you lived through them, and we love you. Congratulations to Doria. Congratulations to Baby Sussex. Girl, you made your journey. Your trip is complete. You are here. Now all you got to do is grow and learn and be. That's it. Congratulations to the entire, Mountbatten, Windsor family. You know what I mean? Y'all got a new addition. And congratulations to the Sussex squad. Girl, we've been waiting on this for feels like forever. And we finally got our baby. And yeah, man, barbecues is finna be lit. It's finna be live. Who else barbecues gonna have Michelle Obama, Serena Williams, Beyonce, girl? Probably Shonda Rhimes. You know what I mean? Adele gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? We lit. Make sure you guys give a 5-star review on iTunes or recommend to a friend. Make sure you please do check out the, just find me on Instagram or somewhere, or Twitter. I'm at Sussex Squad. And I will be seeing y'all. I just had to put up an episode just to welcome this beautiful little boy to the world. And I will see y'all the next time. Peace.
I'm a bad bitch. You can't kill me.